Now, so the first question I have here may sound like a ridiculous question, but I think it starts at a foundational kind of level of this. So Bob is one of, like, let's say, one of the three top people at ground zero of this. The other one being Ryan Dancy, who we talked to. We talked to Ryan Dancy on the channel, who was the architect of it, and then Brian Price, right, the lawyer who actually wrote it, but then also Bob because he had the dissertation. So all of a sudden, there has been all this controversy surrounding this. And so why is it that we don't just have clarity on it? Like when we speak to someone like you who has studied it, in detail. Now Ryan has come out very clear and made his statement, and what his opinion of the OGL and its status is very clear. I have not been able to talk to Brian, but why is it that all of a sudden we can't just talk to someone like you and get instant clarity?
So that's really, to answer that question, we kind of have to delve into a bit of the nature of law and legal analysis. I mean, and in particular, copyright law. Copyright law by its nature is ambiguous in a lot of circumstances, particularly kind of at the margins, right? Like, when somebody sort of paints a painting, there's not much mystery as to whether or not it's protected by copyright law. But when somebody creates something like a set of rules for a game, we start having to kind of think a little harder about the nature and the extent of the copyright protection that, accrues there. And in light of, various kind of context specific and fact specific mechanisms in copyright law, like fair use in the United States and fair dealing here in Canada, there's a lot of murkiness, a lot of gray area in terms of how things are actually going to get applied. And when we say applied, we mean a particular thing in the legal sense, because whenever you have debates or open questions about a legal situation or a legal set of facts or circumstances which entail some legal rights or obligations or liabilities, inevitably what you have is the views of a whole bunch of lawyers, and the only really final determination is when a court says something, and ideally an appellate court. And in this situation, we don't have that yet, right? The open game license, to my knowledge, at least in the research that I had done through to 2018, the open game license had never been the subject of a court dispute. So there's never been a court which has made a definitive pronouncement about how it is that we should interpret and apply various provisions within the open game license. So at the moment, all you're going to get is a bunch of different, hopefully more or less informed views about what the open game license does and how it should work. And all we can really do is sort of assess the quality of those arguments. Like, we can't sort of point to a court decision and say, well, a court said that it was irrevocable, or a court said it was revocable, right? All I can tell you is why I think it's revocable or why I think it's not revocable. And that's really all that anybody can do at this point in time.